Welcome to the JV Squad podcast, formerly known as the What Say You podcast. They do not do this podcast anymore, I think.
Yeah, it's official. We're taking over.
It's official. It's officially unofficial. I don't think they would say that, but
we haven't run this by anyone. Probably not going to happen.
If you're hearing Joe's voice and you're thinking, what happened to him? Was he possessed? Was he taken to the upside down world? And
I'm trapped in a computer.
Yeah, he's actually coming through a phone right now because he's on his way to Wildwood, New Jersey.
Wildwood, New Jersey. New Jersey.
Wow. So you're on the road right now, and this is the thing that we both do is when we travel, we'll call each other just to like force the person to talk to you while you're bored driving. And it's a thing.
Sometimes you'll call me, Casey, and you'll just be like, "Hey, what's up?" And you'll just start talking, and I'll realize 20 minutes into the conversation that you've just been going somewhere.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah, you never realize that until it's too late, and we've been on the phone for like 30 minutes.
It's a tricky friendship we have going on, but that's part of the fun.
And then I'll as soon as I get to the destination, I'll be like, all right, bye, Joe.
Yeah. I just want to address something up top. We get some questions sometimes on Twitter. Sometimes you guys reach out to me. I'm SI_badboy and Casey's at Casey Jost. And we got a question recently from Josh. Josh asked, when is the next JV podcast? Great question, Josh. It's today. It's happening now.
Yeah. Should we say the date, or do you even know the date? I don't even know the date.
I'm not sure. I'm on my way to a bachelor party in Wildwood, and I don't expect to remember the weekend.
Yeah? Do you feel like you're going to be on a tear?
Yeah, I haven't. We've been on a hiatus from work from Jokers because we're kind of, in between seasons right now. But I haven't really done much partying. I'm kind of hanging out a lot, taking it real easy. And I feel like this is kind of the weekend.
Dude,
back in the swing of things.
Similarly, yeah, to reiterate, Jokers is on hiatus. We're not, producing for Impractical Jokers right now. And I have been a complete mess. I don't know what to do with free time. I know it's a weird problem to have. It's like a champagne problem, but I hate it. I need to be occupied with everything. I'm actually really afraid if I ever have to retire because I think I'll lose my mind. I just need to fill my time with things to do. I'm just like, I hate my own thoughts, and I hate being like off and like not making things. I've been like very productive in like writing songs. We have a new Les Vinyl album coming out, and we have like I'm making a lot of like comedy things for myself, but I also, it's weird, but I miss someone being like, do this, like a boss or like a person like telling me what to do. I miss Murray being like, do this thing, or Sal, or, the other guys being like, I need you to do this. And they're on vacation and probably loving it because they work so hard, or they might be touring as well. But I hate it so much. I also hate not making money constantly. Like, I need to always, I want a paycheck every week, and I haven't had that, and it makes me sad and scared.
You gotta get that unemployment tip.
Are you doing that?
Yeah.
You're doing unemployment?
Yeah.
Oh, I should have done that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only doing a little bit. I'm not going to get that many weeks out of it because they make you wait a week in between. It's weird. But yeah, I think, it's valid. We're unemployed right now.
And there's a reason why it exists, and I feel like we should take advantage of that system. I guess it sounds weird to say take advantage of, but...
Suck on that big fat government titty.
Yeah.
That's my motto. It's going to be on my gravestone.
Should I call and be like, hi, hello, I would like to suck on that big government titty?
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, you mean the big fat government titty? Yes, the same titty.
Oh, please.
This could work, actually, since you sound like you're on the phone. We could do it. We could really role play it.
We could do a lot more role playing.
Yeah, all right, so I'm going to call up. Hello, is this unemployment?
Yes, you've reached unemployment.
I was wondering if it's possible, I'll give you my social security number and stuff, but I want to suck on that big fat government titty.
Okay. and you want to suck on the big fat government titty. Do you want the left one or the right one?
I lean very left. I'm definitely more of a left winger.
Okay. All right. Well, so there's a 4-week waiting period between tit, and I'm going to need your social security number right now.
Did you say circumference?
Your social circumference.
Oh, I actually don't have a lot of friends, so my social circumference is not very big.
Could you please enter it into the phone using your digits?
Yeah, I'm gonna actually here. That's cool. I'm glad I just made everyone listen to that.
Hold, please.
Here's a question, Joe. You know how, like, you type in a PIN and you don't want anyone to see your PIN? The numbers, when you type things in, I've always thought about this, have a different tone to each one. So if it's like they change. And I wonder if there are people who could tell the difference of those numbers, of those sounds, and figure out your PIN.
Yeah, there probably are, but I will say a couple things. I think that's kind of an outdated skill.
What do you mean?
You used to be able to, like, play those noises into a payphone and get, like, free long-distance calls and shit. It was called, like, phone freaking or something. It was, like, a really, like, a kind of a cool way of hacking.
And you could just make a free phone call?
Yeah.
And now
all kinds of stuff.
And now people don't even make phone calls.
No.
Like, this is going to be my one phone call a year is this one.
Yeah.
Life has become prison. And I get one phone call.
And this is the one you're choosing to do?
Yeah, if I was driving right now, that would be the real reason. But yeah, I guess you would be the person. This is a great question. If you were stuck in prison, who would you call? Your one call.
I would call my dad. He knows what to do. He probably had, like, dealings with prison before. I feel like he's the guy.
I would call my dad, but not for the reasons of that. Your reason, which is your dad is still.
You should call my dad too.
You're right. I should call your dad.
Absolutely.
He'd definitely show up with a bat and be like, "I'm gonna take care of this. Put me in, coach," and he'll just beat everyone up.
Right.
Sorry, I play hardball.
None of these are prison terms, just baseball terms.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you slide. I don't know.
Why would you call your dad?
I would call my dad because he's a nerd, like, in a good way. Like, he'll figure out the system and sort of, like, we would get out of jail and then I would somehow be paid by the government like $30.
I was gonna say he's like a life hacker, the original life hack guy.
Yeah.
And he would find a way to make, like, prison worth it.
Yeah.
It's like the classic Jost family tradition.
It would like lower my insurance, or like I would get like a point off my license or something. Like he'd figure out a way to, like, scam it.
What?
He'd figure out a way to scam it.
Oh yeah. Do you have any, like, off the top of your head, like, can you think of any real life examples of, like, cool scambonies he's done?
Absolutely. We'd get, like, electronic, like, let's say it was like a CD player, and we'd break it because we're dumb kids, and then he would buy the identical CD player and switch it out and bring it in and be like, this thing's broken. And they'd be at, like, Costco, and they'd be like, all right, and we've already taken the good one. It's, like, already at home. So he's returning, like, the broken one. And he's done that for a ton of things. I'm probably incriminating him right now, but I feel like he hasn't done it since we were kids because he doesn't break things because he's a smart adult. But
right.
But yeah, that was definitely like a Dan Jost move. I love moves that people do. He's never done this, but like when you rent, the Costco lets you. Shout out to Costco, today's sponsor.
Personal signature makes everything.
Yeah, it's true. They make like batteries and breadcrumbs. But the thing that people do for Super Bowls is they rent a TV. And they'll just like have that big screen TV, and then they'll just return it either after the Super Bowl, or you have like 82 days, some insane number. You could just keep renting and returning TVs. I don't know why people don't do that. Also, like with like dresses, you could just rent a dress for like some big occasion. Like Lisa will buy a dress and will wear it and then like never wear that dress again because she wore it once and like 4 people took pictures.
No, so she doesn't return them?
No, but I think she has returned dresses if there was an issue or a problem. But like, why don't people scam more? Like, you know what I mean? These places are already scamming, children into making these dresses and then they're selling them for like quadruple the price. We should scam back a little bit,
Yeah, really, there should be a whole scam economy,
I'm not saying to scam the little guy. I'm not saying scam local businesses, right? But I'm saying like, your Gaps, Aeropostale,
Your Banana Republics, your BBs.
Yeah, your babies, your Forever 21s, your Torrid, Someone should be scamming.
Yeah, big Torrid.
Torrid. I don't know. But, I think, I just think like, getting away with having a TV for 82 days and returning it and then getting a model that you can even get like the next version of it more because you're basically leasing a TV, but you're never paying for it. I think that's pretty cool.
Right. Well, the risk is that you break it, you're kind of screwed. Not only do you not have a TV, you can't return it. So how often do you break a TV?
They never do. Maybe installing it. So you'd know right away. And even so, you just buy this. This is what you do. You just buy the same TV. You switch the boxes.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. I just solved your problem with it.
Wow. That's great.
I know, man.
I'll call your dad when I go to prison.
I have a little bit of Dan Jost in me.
Oh, you definitely have a little bit of Dan Jost in you.
I think I feel like I'm kind of 50-50, or I always like want that side of Dan Jost, but I also like my mom is so charismatic and stuff. I want a little bit of that too. And
I think most of the time we tend to like take the best of our parents.
Yeah, but I notice things that where my dad's always like overly concerned about things. Like I'll get overly concerned on other people's behalfs in a way that might be annoying.
Right.
It's almost like it's a little
involved in the business.
Yeah, I'll get a little judgmental.
Right.
And I think like that's like a dadism. My grandma's like that. I don't know. That on my dad's side. Speaking of which, I'm going this weekend. You're going to be in Jersey. I'm going to be in Lavallette, New Jersey, for my grandma's 100th birthday. 100 emoji. That red.
Dude, it's like your dad taught your grandmother how to scam life.
Yeah, she's scamming life for sure. She's
getting some extra years back.
Yeah, she fell a few years ago and broke her hip, and they replaced her hip. This was like 3 years ago. She's healthier than she was. It's like
she's about to be cyborg.
Totally, she's totally cyborging it.
Crazy, that's great.
I know.
Now, let me ask you: Would you transfer your consciousness into a computer so you could live forever?
I think I would, just because like I'm 31.
You're a tech guy too.
Yeah, but I'll explain why. I'm 31, and I already have, like when I turned 30, I developed way more physical problems than I ever had in my life, and I'm like already like I had a hernia. I had some like some teeth thing. I think like I had a bunch of little issues that are like, again, not big deals, but they're just annoying. Like the hernia thing is still a year later bothering me in some ways. Like I can't be too physically active. I can't like lift shit. And I'm kind of like, I have to live my whole life like this. And I can't imagine people who have even worse ailments. You got to stay really positive in this life. And I think, oops, I dropped a coin. Why was I holding a coin? Why was I holding a coin? That's weird. No. But I think with all these like physical ailments, like to be a robot or like to put my consciousness over, my brain is still good. My brain rules. I love my brain. And I think if I could get that over and my body would be fine, yeah, I could live forever. I think I could. The only problem is I'd have to like really have a job to like fill that void, because otherwise I'll lose my brain. There you go.
That's a good point. Yeah, you have to be active. Well, here's my concern is that once you transfer the consciousness into a computer, what does that mean exactly? Is it like I would be okay with it if it was like literally taking my brain out of my skull, putting it into like some kind of brine liquid solution like feta cheese, and then putting that into a robot's body? that would be okay with me. But if it were somehow digitally copied and transferred, like when you like take a vinyl record and you like record it into your computer, I don't think I'd be okay with that.
Why?
It wouldn't really be me.
You think it would be a copy?
It would be like a copy, and like to the outsider, it would be me. But like I would cease to exist once that transfer was made. You know?
No, not necessarily. You'd still exist until you were dead.
Well, that's true. Then there would be two versions of me, right?
Yeah, so I don't know where you that's speaking now would be. I think it would be for the version of you that's in the robot, you would be thinking it's the same thing. You'd think it was you, and the other one would not be you. And but the other perspective is that the original you is also thinking that. So you'd be fine either way.
Did you ever see Black Mirror?
I did.
Did you see the Christmas special?
I did.
Yeah, there's that one thing that's terrifying where the person's consciousness gets uploaded into like their smart home just so they can control the temperature. But to that consciousness, it believes it's still real and is like basically kept in this horrible purgatory for the rest of its existence.
Yeah. So it's that perspective. Yeah, that does really suck.
I don't want that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'd rather be dead in that way.
But on the other hand, I wouldn't have to worry about earwax anymore.
Well, that's true. Yeah, you have this big weird ear problem. So you're 29. You're 30. No, you're 30 and
I'm gonna be 30 in a couple months, and I feel like that's when the hernia happens.
Yeah, you're having all these problems. You turn 30 and it's physically downhill.
I tried to put peroxide in my ear last week, and it just made it worse. It like took all the earwax and softened it so that it like fell into my eardrum. It just blocked it for a week.
That's terrible.
I finally went on Amazon and ordered some crazy shit. It's like kind of like a spray bottle, and you stick it into your ear, and you just like it's called irrigation or lavage. And I just kept like jetting water into it until this thing came out that was like the size of a small like Boston baked bean. It came out of my ear.
I think we've probably lost a lot of listeners just based on the audio quality and the topic of conversation.
I know.
But I think this is something people need to know. If you start having ear buildup, it's nice to hear a first-person perspective. You know what I mean? You should do a whole YouTube tutorial on getting this out.
A viral video waiting to happen.
Yeah, the whole process. I mean, a friend of ours told us how he had the same thing. He said to put like ginger or garlic oil or something in his ear, and he did it in his ear, and it all came out. What was that?
I know. People are always talking about those homeopathic solutions. I don't know. It's all just unsanitary liquid that you're putting in your ear. None of it's a good idea.
Well, if it's like garlic or something, isn't that naturally like antimicrobial?
I don't know. I've seen some weird garlics.
Yeah, you're right. Sometimes like they sprout. Ever see one of those potatoes that's like sprouted?
Yeah.
I think it's like poison. I think I saw somewhere that if you eat those, it's like poison. So you have to like cut around it, or just don't eat it. There's plenty of potatoes out there.
Yeah.
But man,
wild world.
Turning 31, I mean, like, you know, I don't care about age. Like, you know what I mean? Age ain't nothing but a number, girl. But I think it is when you start having these like physical issues. Like, I can't believe my grandma is, 69, nice, years older than me.
Yeah, that's true.
And she's like,
that's crazy.
And she's fine. Like, she's going to keep going, I hope. And she's like, you know what I mean? She's there. She speaks. She could drive a car, It's amazing. She rules.
It really is wild, man.
And part of it is, so she's a painter, right? That was her occupation. She was a painter, and she taught, obviously. I mean, even back then, she couldn't just be a painter. But she painted her whole life. She'll still do watercolors and stuff, and, her paintings are amazing. You've seen them. And she kept her mind active. And I think that's the key. She also plays bridge all the time with friends. So that's socialization, and it's a hobby that like keeps your brain going. The card game bridge?
Yeah.
She doesn't like build bridges.
Why is that such an old folks game?
I mean, her name's Barbara. That's an old folk name. It's like there's certain things that are just like of that time that like I think, like kind of go out of style. Like, they had cards growing up. Kids now have like smartphones. So it's like they that was what they did for fun, and now there's stuff that's just way more exciting.
Right. What do you think we're going to be doing? Are we going to be playing on iPads when we're like in our 80s, or are we going to be playing like asshole with our card games instead of like bridge?
Yeah, maybe that would be fun. I think it would have to be something like that we're nostalgic for. So maybe like that's a little bit of it too. Bridge is something that they've played forever, and it's like something that maybe that they could connect to. That like yesterday. This is actually interesting. My brother, I was at his place yesterday, and he was like bummed about a bunch of stuff that was like just like annoying stuff that he had to like work on, and he was a little bummed about it, and also like some other issues and stuff. So I stopped by his place. We were just hanging out, and I looked on his computer, and he was playing this old game from when we grew up called Indiana Jones and the Lost City of Atlantis.
Yeah, it's like a point-and-click adventure. I love that one.
It's the best game. I looked it up on Wikipedia recently, like a few months ago. They were going to make it into a movie, and then they were like, it's too expensive, so they made the game instead. But the whole script, it's a whole scripted thing, and that's why like the script is so good for the game. And it was just way cheaper. You have to pay like a few voiceover actors, but it wasn't like they were paying what's his name, Harrison Ford. So it was like a cheaper way to make it, but it's really good, and it was like a fun game. So he was like playing that, and I was kind of like, "Are you playing this because it's like this nostalgic thing that makes you feel comfortable?" And he was kind of like, "Yeah, it definitely does." And I think that's the thing. I mean, I don't know if they will be playing that. I mean, hopefully, like emulators will be good enough because the technology will be so far advanced. We're going to be playing on it. They're going to look like crap. It'll be all pixelated because we'll be playing it in our eyeballs.
Yeah, I'm going to be an old man like suspended in the liquid with like tubes coming out of every orifice.
Oh, I don't want
playing like a virtual reality, like GoldenEye or something.
Well, here's the thing I thought about the other day. Kids nowadays are not learning penmanship. There are some people who are still keeping it in, but there are a lot of schools where you're not even picking up pencils and you're not working on penmanship. A lot of things are typed. It's way more important to learn how to like type. So keyboarding and like that stuff is like ahead of actual handwriting. That is
and shorthand too, like abbreviated words and things like that.
Well, yeah, but it's what I'm nervous about is these kids are not working with their hands. What are the future of surgeons going to be like if you're not at an early age perfecting handwriting? Yeah,
but they're going to be using robots to do the surgery, and they're going to have very quick thumbs.
I agree. That's an optimistic look at it, but there are times that you have to do things pretty quickly, and I think like there's a precision that comes with hands that might take a little while to get to for computers. Like as you could see, you know what I mean? Like a person who's building something with their hands is going to be a little bit more effective in like little areas than a robot, in my mind. But I'm not an expert on this. I mean, I know I seem like one, but I know I seem like I'm just some genius. I'm like I know. I just like you. I walk around and you're like, oh my God, there's a genius. But hey, I'm just a normal guy with a hernia.
I'm frightened for myself getting older. Something happened to me recently that's making me question my very existence.
Oh, I can't wait for this.
I was away. I went to visit some family in Florida a couple weeks ago, and when I came home, I went to my apartment and I opened my closet. I have a very, it's like I have my one bedroom and I have a closet in the bedroom. It's not like there's a lot of stuff going on in there. And I opened up the closet to put my clothes away, and I noticed a hook on the inside of the door. And I've lived here for 8 months, and I've never noticed this hook before. And it's a very noticeable hook. It's a metal hook. There's some white paint on it. I almost feel like someone put it in there while I was away. And I know it sounds trivial and stupid, but it's making me question everything because I feel like I would have noticed this hook. I have all these hoodies that I had hanging around my room that I would have put on the hook if I knew about it.
I wonder if it's a change in reality.
Maybe I died on that plane.
No, I don't think it's that. I think it's just maybe you're in a slightly different reality than you were before.
The plane I was on its way to Miami, flew through a portal?
I don't know. I don't think it has to be as different as that. I think people are more and more noticing little switches in reality. For instance, we've talked about this. The Berenstain Bears was a book that I read growing up.
Right.
And now they're saying and even the author is saying it's the Berenstein Bears. When you look at the spelling, it's actually Stein, but I remember it as Berenstein Bears, the Berenstein Bears. And now they're saying that it's the Berenstein Bears. And
maybe you're right. Maybe I'm having a Berenstein Bear moment.
There's a ton of forums about how, like, you know, it might have been like a change in reality and we're starting to notice it. I mean, you know, the world is crazy now. It's getting really nuts. And I think, like, it's, you know, it's possible that this is all VR and then there was an update and they changed that one thing for you. Who knows?
Right. It's like El Capitan 4.0.
Yeah. And then they didn't expect you to notice. You know, the government's fat tit. Is, you know, that you're drinking out of with your VR helmet on, and then you're charging everything like it's the Matrix. You're in like...
Oh, this is a perfect example. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm driving right now in the Garden State Parkway, and I'm supposed to get off at exit 4B, right?
Yeah.
And there's 4A, and then right after that is 4B. And the sign over 4B says, formerly exit 4A. And the sign over 4A says, formerly exit 4B. So, like, they just switched the A and B for no discernible reason. And especially they're going to take that sign down that says formerly, and some people that haven't been wild in a while are going to go crazy.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, that's not relatable to this reality problem that you're having. That's just construction, or, you know, I mean, that's just like city. That's just city shit.
Yes.
It's actually like, it hurts our entire argument that you just brought that up. Because
I'm just saying that maybe there's a real grounded reason for all this.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Oh, so you're saying like, yeah, maybe they switched it for you, but you don't know it, but, you know, there was a reason why for them, you know, the powers.
Oh, it's getting really complicated.
Yeah, that's weird. I can't believe, though, that hook, that's a little disconcerting.
Everyone I told you thinks I'm an idiot and crazy, and, like, it's not a big deal. But it is a big deal.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's cool to hold on to stuff like that and just, like, kind of, like, keep an eye and be like, what else
Never
is like...
Never let it go.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my big hook story.
I don't really have much... Like, I have been thinking about that a lot lately, too. I think we've been talking about this, about, like, whether this is... like a virtual world, because the thing that I always think is, like, forever humans, like, want to play The Sims. You know what I mean? Like, we've always wanted to be able to look through another perspective and not our own. And I think that's so weird. And even, like, let's say this is all a VR world, and then, like, you know, we're playing VR within it, and then, like, you know, you want to play a thing within that. I don't know. You know how, like, in The Sims, you want to, like, have the person watch TV, so it's like you're watching something that's watching something, you know?
Yeah, and you're waiting for them to finish watching TV so that you can get on with the game.
Yeah, like, and naturally, just like, you know what I mean? Like, naturally, we like to see things do things. So I feel like it would make sense that we're a thing that's already doing that. I don't know.
It's kind of stupid.
I guess so.
You know, like, to give us so much. If this is a simulation, like, why do we have so much capability of, like, self-consciousness? It seems like a waste of...
But we also have so many distractions and problems that get in the way, and that's like, why do we even, you know what I mean? Why do we even need that? But I guess it's like, right. It would be boring. Isn't that like the thing in the... This is all the Matrix. We're just talking about the Matrix. But isn't that the thing...
Sure.
That's what they say. They're like, oh, we had a version that was everything was peaceful and everyone didn't like it, so we made problems.
Right. They said it just like that.
Yeah. It's like angsty kid was in control of the Matrix. Did you see... Did you finish Preacher, by the way?
Yeah.
What'd you think of the finale?
I liked it. Yeah, it's kind of funny how, like, they could have done all this in one episode.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I like it. I'm very open-minded about the whole thing. Because I think it's a really weird TV show, and I appreciate that.
I do, too. And I went into that thing being like, this is going to suck. I love the graphic novel so much. The whole series is, like, perfect. It's, like, my favorite graphic novel of all time. It's, like, phenomenal. And I was like, there's no way it could be good. Episode 1 came out, and I was like, okay, this is going to be good. Because I think what they did, which is smart, is like they were influenced by the graphic novel. They didn't do it like shot for shot, which I think would have been a mistake. And then so they took it and they're like, what else is true? Like, what else is in this world? Or like, what's a version of this that is,
right.
you know? And I think that they've done a pretty good job with doing like a version of Preacher that's true to the comic, but not true to necessarily the plot line. Like, in a good way. Like, I don't think you needed the plot. You got the characters pretty good, and I like some of the new elements that they've added.
They avoided that shit with Game of Thrones that like makes kind of Game of Thrones frustrating because it's like too close to the books. But people who are fans of the books kind of get a little bit annoyed when things deviate.
Yeah.
But this, like, oh, this is completely different. So I'm like already open for more, you know?
I know, but you know, most of the time with comic books, like all the Spider-Man movies, I'm like, just use the comics. It's like you already have a storyboard, just do that. But they seem to always mess it up in some way. Like the original one, like, you know, the original one, the Tobey Maguire ones. I can't believe that they didn't give web shooters. It's such a little detail that adds so much to a character. To have the web shooters on. Why does it have to come out of his skin? It blew my mind. I was like, I'm out at that point. And then they just kept doing weird things. And I was like, it's right there. It's been there forever. You know, there's text. Just use it. Because now kids watch that version before they read comic books. And they're like, oh, where are these stupid things? Why doesn't it come out of his skin? So it's just like, makes it all clumsy.
I was actually not, I didn't really mind the skin web.
But what? Why?
I don't know why.
But you know, the
I
thing.
know that we've had this discussion, but like, yeah, it makes. In retrospect, now, like, I see your argument, but at the time, I was like, he's a smart kid, but where the fuck is he going to? How's he going to invent these webs?
Well, the web formula comes out of his brain, so it's like he like just, you know, because of the spider genetics that like have gone into him, you know, spiders inherently know how to make these things, and so he just knew how to make it, but that was just the formula. But luckily he was a scientist who could like plug this stuff in and understand what that means, and then also like build the web shooter. And then it was always improving throughout the series. He'd get better at it because he'd get smarter. And it's not just like the spider bit some random kid. It like what makes Spider-Man is he bit this kid who's like already smart enough, who's like had enough loss in his life that it'll help him out, who's had enough intelligence, who's had enough social issues that he's funny enough. It was like the spider was like luck. It was like luck that he bit such a good kid, not just like any kid, you know?
You know, it's true. Also, like, the huge flaw is that if the genes of the spider really mixed with the genes of the human, the web would be coming out of his asshole or something. And that's hard to show in a movie, you know?
Yeah, well, there was like there's a series where like the mutation started like changing, and he started becoming a spider. It started like where he'd have extra arms, and then like eventually like hair, like the spider hair, and he like turned into man spider, right? And there's even like this is funny to bring it back. There's even like an alternate universe where he stayed as that and like didn't get it fixed or like got it controlled, you know? So he like kept the extra arms. But you know, that's like a down the line like web of like, you know, thing. But that was so he did, and when he did that, the stuff didn't come out of the things. It came out of like his arms or something. Like I forget how I think it came out of his arms, just like in the Tobey Maguire movie. But that was, you know, that's just because it was like this freak thing. It didn't come out of his asshole, although that would be cool.
Kind of gross, the whole thing.
The other thing that's cool is the Venom suit, right? So when he became Venom, or like, you know, the black suit, he didn't need the web shooters anymore because the suit was like, oh, I'll take that technology and just put it right into my suit. And then it came out of the top of his wrist and not the bottom. Little things like that were so cool, too.
Yeah. Yeah, the days of subtlety are gone, I suppose.
Not in comics.
No?
I don't think so. I think comics now, I think there's new heroes. Like there's like a new X-Men with like all new X-Men. There's like 200, there's like 100 or 200 X-Men that like there's like almost like 70 or 80 that most people don't even know.
That's not even that many. I mean, in that world, there would be like a lot more mutants walking around. I mean, this is a huge part of the population.
No, not mutants, X-Men.
Oh, okay.
Like people who were like from the school and like were like on the team. that like most people don't know because like comics wrote about them in like the 90s and 2000s and people didn't get into them because it didn't have Wolverine. But like, you know, that kind of stuff. I haven't read them either. I'm not really that much of a comic book guy, although I sound like, I mean, I look like some genius comic book guy. They're walking around the street like a genius. You're like, what is that, genius like comic books? Yeah. But I really just haven't heard it.
So what are the criteria of getting into the X-Men Academy? Like, if you could grow, like, if your mutation is that you can, like, grow a mustache really quickly.
Oh, that's so funny.
It's not good enough, right? Like,
yeah.
Do you weaponize somehow?
Good question. Yeah, like, and what is that interview process? Do you have to write like a college recommend, or like, do you need like a recommendation letter, and do you have to write like a college essay?
You gotta think, there's a lot of mutants walking around with like useless mutant powers.
Yeah.
Not useless, but like they're not weaponized. It's not like what can you do with a nice mustache, or like maybe one of your arms is bigger than the other, but it's not like a super strength arm. It's just a little bigger.
Well, people always shit on Jubilee because she could just basically make like fireworks come out of her hands. But
right, that's actually pretty good, you know, considering what else is out there.
There's got to be some weak ass mutant powers. There's got to be people who don't even think they're mutants. There's like the guy who could just grow a mustache like whenever he wants. Is probably just like, that's weird.
Right, it's true. I don't know. It seems kind of flawed. I feel like I'd like to see a series on like the unsung heroes of the X-Men universe.
Yeah, and
people that are mutants, but like don't get all the cool, flashy Hollywood shit, you know.
And there's probably a ton of mutants that have probably killed themselves accidentally because they were like, oh, I could I burned myself up because I couldn't control my power.
Or maybe there's a mutant who like, you know, like there's those mutants that can like absorb energy and then blow up.
Yeah.
And then like kind of reform. Maybe there's some mutants that like they can only blow up, but they can't they don't have the ability of regeneration.
Yeah, that's true.
That sucks. That's like a one and done.
That's a funny, like, just like 4-page comic. Like, you know what I mean? You're starting a series, and it's just like this mutant finds out his power, and he blows himself up, and it's just the end of the entire series.
Yeah, man.
They should be more one and done.
I could write that one. I don't fancy myself a comic writer, but I could probably write a 4-page issue.
I think you should do it.
Well,
you should definitely do that.
I'll reach out to my peoples.
I think you could think of something a little better than just the explodey guy.
No, I'm not going to say it on, what am I, an asshole? I'm not going to say it on a podcast and give it all away.
That's true. Hey, you're smart.
I'm not an asshole.
But you are an asshole, but you're also smart. I felt like our last podcast, the live one, I was a little mean to you.
You were a little mean to me. I'm happy you're being a little nicer this time.
I think it was the pressure of the live one. I don't think I was myself. I actually didn't want to release it.
Yeah.
But it came out fine. I'm glad we got to play all your songs.
Right. So glad.
And then I hope that the What Say You guys come back.
Yeah, how long has it been?
As a fan, I don't know. They always hang out. I'm surprised they haven't done it.
Speaking of songs, I found I got a car recently and I found my old CD book, and a lot of the CDs in it are CDs that you made, mixed CDs that you kept giving me, that you used to have in your car, and you know that song from the last podcast by Paul Simon, The Vampires, on a couple of them. Like for some reason, you keep putting "Light My Fire" by The Doors. It sounds like 6 different mix CDs that you made. Like, what? What's that about?
I don't even know. I can't even tell you that I love that song. Maybe at the time
that and Spirit in the Sky, keep showing up on these mix CDs.
That's a great song. I could see Spirit in the Sky being on a bunch of mix CDs. I like that song.
Yeah, clearly.
I was probably into those songs, and then I made CDs for a bunch of people, like you or whoever, and then they all got put back into that book because we started putting all the CDs together.
Light My Fire has, it's a weird song because it's got that middle section that kind of goes on fucking forever.
Yeah, I got the extended version, yeah.
Yeah, but, it's really nice when it comes back to the chorus.
I know, it is a good feeling. How many times
those guys are the masters of, really good shit sandwiched between really boring shit.
The Doors.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's funny is that people I don't know that many people who are like who go to bat for the Doors.
No, most people hate them or are indifferent.
Yeah, I don't know any people who are like the Doors were the best. It's only people who are like naming them in a list of like classic rock bands where they're like, oh, the Who, Zeppelin, the Doors, that era was the best. And then you're like, oh yeah, what Doors songs? And it's like those two good ones.
I bet if Jim Morrison didn't die, like no one would care about the Doors.
Well, you could say that about a lot of people, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think
you think if Hitler didn't die, no one would care about Hitler?
Very big jump there, but he definitely had a...
I mean, Hitler was a painter.
It's true, yeah. Oh, I didn't realize you meant like that version of Hitler.
I meant his painting career, yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I guess...
should have clarified.
He was, yeah, he's most notably a painter, so that's, yeah, maybe you're right. But, you know, like...
before he was a killer.
Yeah. You know, a lot of these artists got to make like one or two really great albums, and then they just bounced. I mean, they died. They bounced from life.
The big bounce.
The big bounce in the sky. Like, yeah. Notorious B.I.G. made two amazing albums, and he's out. You know, and then he like left. And he was young at the time, whereas like a lot of these artists that make their best music are young. But who knows? Like, I doubt he'd be able to sustain that kind of thing. But maybe, I don't know, Jay-Z seems like he's sustained it for the most part. I mean, he's got some really bad albums, but he has been famous forever. He's, like, maintained. Longevity is the hardest thing in music.
I think it's more like, it's not like they're not talented. I think the older you get, almost the more talented you're going to get. It's just that you have less to say. Especially when you've been successful, I feel like conflict is a huge part of like writing things. And if you're complacent, you know, if you're like fighting to prove yourself or to make a living, I think you just have less to say.
Well, I don't know. I think rock and roll music has always been built on, you know, teenage perspectives, and I think like it's funny because comedy is the opposite. Comedy, you want like a world perspective. You know, like Bill Burr and Louis C.K., they got famous when they were like in their late 30s. More famous than ever.
You only get better as a comedian because you're wiser in that way.
Yeah. And I think Louis said this. No one cares what a 25-year-old or like 16-year-old cares about the world. You know, unless like those younger people can sort of like dazzle them with like performance and stuff. And like, you know, Disney kids are like amazingly talented, but it's not really their perspective. They're performing. Whereas like, people care about Louis' perspective and Bill Burr's perspective because they've lived their lives and what they're complaining about is like true.
Right.
But with music, you don't really want to see like Louis C.K. up there singing a song. Although like country people are good because they're telling stories. But, you know, even that is like as popular as it is, it'll never be as popular as like a, you know, 17-year-old like girl or guy singing a pop song. You know, that
I just think like music is like vitality. It's a celebration of life, and comedy and things like that it's sort of like a takedown of life, or like a little more cynical. And so they're all already at the opposite ends of the spectrum, you know? Yeah,
yeah. It's sort of the perspectives are different. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's also like, you know, a heartache, like a song about like you know your heart being broken does pretty well. You know, like Adele, those kind of songs do very well. And that's sort of like not a cynical take, but, you know, but it's not really like mirrored to society. It's like, this is how I feel. Do you relate? And people are like, yeah, I've been through that too. Oh, well, comedy's like that too. Comedy's like, oh, this thing happened to me. And it's like, that's funny. That happened to me.
Yeah, but comedy has to make sense. Lyrics don't have to make sense.
That's not true. I think lyrics have to make sense. I think
it makes sense in the sense that they have to be like words that like kind of go together, but like you can be very vague with lyrics, and with comedy, if you just say something like, you know, the world's stupid, like no one cares.
You need to be specific, but I don't think you realize for a song to get really popular, you need to have. Well, that's not true. What is Hey Ya about?
I mean, there's a message to it. It's actually kind of cynical, but it's disguised in a pop song.
Yeah, but I think if you went to someone and was like, give me a log line about what Hey Ya is about, and you've probably looked it up, so that doesn't count. But like,
I have.
you know, what's the log line of Party in the USA?
Right. That's a girl coming out into the world, you know? It's like her first time traveling the world, and she feels like it's all her oyster.
A lyric that we make up for that song, me and Lisa, is, you know, the line's like, who's that chick that's rocking something, what is it? Who's that chick that's rocking this? Probably got it out of town, you know? But a lyric that Lisa and I sing a lot is who's that bitch that's rocking clits?
Rocking clit.
Like, and people are like her, you know what I mean? They're just like, whoa, who's that bitch that's rocking clits?
Right, like everyone's talking about it.
She just like
She
broke.
is now. I mean, she wasn't rocking clits then, but she certainly is now.
She just like breaks into a party and just starts like rocking a bunch of clits, and everyone's like, whoa, awesome! Who's that bitch that rocking clits?
Yeah.
She's probably from out of town.
Rocking clits and sucking on the government's dick. I mean, tit?
Tit, yeah, big government tit. I'm looking up the Party in the USA lyrics.
Okay.
I'm pretty pumped to read. So here it is. I hopped off the plane at LAX with a dream in my cardigan. Wow. First lyric, insane. I hopped off the plane at LAX with a dream in my cardigan.
And or in?
And a dream with a dream and my cardigan.
Okay. So she doesn't have a carry-on.
I don't think that makes any sense. She's in Los Angeles. Why do you need a cardigan? Unless it's nighttime and it's the desert, it gets a little cold. Okay.
It's a little cold, and she probably took a red eye. She probably took Spirit Airlines because she doesn't have a carry-on, and there's a lot of upcharges on that.
Next lyric. Welcome to the land of fame excess. Whoa, am I gonna fit in? So welcome to the land of fame excess. Whoa, am I gonna fit in? Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. You're Miley Cyrus.
She's like blue blood royalty of pop singer.
Right. I'm going to jump around to the clit line.
Okay.
Huh.
What, the clit line is not in the lyrics?
Sorry. I thought it ended. It was just an ad, and I thought the whole song was just like 4 lines. Sorry. Sorry. This is a stupid ad for I don't even know what it is. It's like for something about Pennsylvania. All right.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Now here's the next one. Get to the club in my taxi cab. Everybody's looking at me now. Like, who's that chick that's rocking kicks? She's got to be from out of town. So that line makes less sense than my line.
She's wearing shoes?
And then everyone's like, whoa, she's wearing shoes? Who is that chick that's wearing shoes? She's got to be from out of town.
It's probably the fucking cardigan that she's got on in the middle of the summer that everyone's noticing.
Yeah. Unless maybe she's wearing like snow boots also.
Right, that's true.
So I think my line should be replaced. Right?
We should do a petition. We should petition the government. You know, you can petition them for anything.
Do you think that we should get the government involved in Miley Cyrus's lyrics?
Yeah, I think we should. Well, you know how you can like put together a petition and anyone can sign it, and if enough signatures get on it, like at some point the government has to address the petition.
Is that? I mean, I guess so. Yeah, sure.
I heard it somewhere, so it must be true. So we can petition the government to change the lyric. I think
if you want to go all the way out with that, I think a Twitter campaign could be great too.
Yeah.
I'm just a little nervous. I'm a little nervous because I personally don't love saying the word, the bitch word. The only reason I'm saying it is because my wife, who is a powerful, strong female, is okay with saying it in that lyric. So it's almost like I'm quoting Lisa saying it. So you know what I mean? And like Lisa loves like the Rihanna song, Bitch Better Have My Money, which is the name of the song, which I feel like it's okay to say, although I would not say a lyric that had the N-word in it. So
replace it with Neighbors, right?
Yeah, I do. I always say Neighbors. I always switch it to, if you don't know, now you know, Neighbors. That's how I do it.
I think that's universal.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. But
so what you're saying is that when we put this out on Twitter, we have to attach your wife's name to the clip line. in order for it to be okay. That's what I'm getting from this.
I don't love that. I don't love that idea. I think if everyone just starts writing at Lisa Kleinwoman, which is her name, at Lisa Kleinwoman, who's that bitch that's rocking clits? I don't actually recommend you doing that, but I'm sure it'll happen now. If people start,
she doesn't use Twitter much, so it might be a good way to get around there.
That's what's interesting is a bunch of maybe I don't know how many are going to do this, but if a bunch of people write at Lisa Kleinwoman, who's that bitch that's rocking clits? She's not going to see it for a long time, and then she'll see it, and it'll be 100 plus people writing that to her. Maybe that'll be her new brand.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Who's that bitch that's rocking clits?
Yeah, it sounds good. She's got to change that lyric. It's so much better.
I'll work on a government petition. If we get enough signatures, we can have our day in court.
Yeah. I'm trying to find.
I ordered a vanity plate recently.
Uh huh.
And I'm not sure that I'm going to get it.
Why?
You know, vanity plates, like a personalized plate for my car. I got so excited when I got a car, and now that I can take care of my own business, I figured let me look into vanity plates. Not that expensive. It's only $60. And I ordered Pen 15 Club.
So PEN 15 Club? Did it all fit?
PEN 15 CLB.
CLB. So Pen 15 CLB. Pen 15 Club.
It's a non-refundable fee of $60. So that money is gone. And I didn't realize until after, because I figured that if there was anything wrong with Pen 15, which looks like the word penis, our good government's systems would automatically reject it. And it said that the plate was available, and I got really excited, so I went through with it. And now I'm reading the fine print after the fact, which I don't recommend you do. You should probably read the fine print before. That's going to be subject to a review. The commissioner of license plates is going to look at my submission and decide whether or not it's okay to have on your car.
Oh man, do you think you lost $60?
Yeah, I think I did. I mean, even if they reject it, I'm not sure if I can take that $60 and try to get another plate. You know what I mean? I think I would have to resubmit. And at that point, I'm losing all steam here.
Yeah, that's trouble.
Plus, in addition to that, I'm going to have to. I don't know why they're asking now. If they contact me about it, I have to explain to them what Pen 15 Club means. You actually have to give them the reason that you're getting a license plate.
I think it's it's Pennsylvania. My son was born in 2015, and CLB stands for cool, lavish design, which is my business.
Cool, lavish design.
So yeah, so let me repeat it. Let me repeat this for you, okay? If they call, you say, "Oh yeah." So I live in Pennsylvania. Already a lie. Your son that doesn't exist was born in 2015, and you felt like you wanted to dedicate this plate for him, and you have a cool, lavish design, which is your business that doesn't exist, and they could look up right away and know it doesn't exist.
I don't see anything wrong with that explanation.
What would your explanation be?
It's a good question. I actually haven't really thought of one yet. I was just going to say that it's I'm a writer, and I'm in this club. We're the Pen 15 Club, and we meet every week, and we pen our own little editorial. I don't know, it's some bullshit like that.
Wow, mine is so much better than yours. You thought mine was a joke, but now looking at it, wow, I'm a genius.
Mine's definitely more realistic.
No, but they're gonna know what a Pen 15 is. I think that's a thing that everybody knows.
What? What did you say that the CLB stood for?
Cool, lavish design. Oh, it's
D as in boy.
Oh man, I really just realized that I have been saying D the whole time.
Yeah, that's insane what you've been doing.
I'm a genius.
Yeah.
So that's another hole in the story, in the thing.
And yet it's still a better story than mine.
So all right, so then switch it to cool, lavish boy. Just say, oh, it's Pennsylvania. My son was born in 2015. He's a cool, lavish boy.
Right. Okay.
So it's,
All right, I like that.
yeah, I mean, if you just say it confidently, they were like, why are you taking my license plate away? Well, I need to represent that I'm from Pennsylvania. My son was born in 2015, who's a cool, lavish boy.
All right, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Hopefully they let you have a rebuttal.
Yeah, I don't really know how open they are to rebuttals at the New York State DMV, but we'll see.
I'm praying for you, buddy, because you need that license plate. What do you have now? Tell me your license plate and your social.
Let me just input it into my phone. Man, can you hear that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, that's it.
That's what?
My license plate.
I only heard 3 beeps.
It's a short license plate.
Should I type my social in and see if people on Twitter can guess what it is?
Why don't you type in something that's not your social, but you can still see if people can guess?
Oh, great idea. All right, here we go. There you go.
What is that, your PIN number?
Yes, it is. I mean, I hope people don't actually guess it right, but yeah.
Okay.
Taking a chance there. Big chance there.
Yes, you are.
So if you know what that number is, please write it to me. And I promise I will tell you in a direct message if it was right. Wait, no, I don't want to do all that.
Seems like a bit much.
I don't think anyone's going to do it. They're going to be too busy doing the Lisa Kleinman thing.
Yeah, stick to Lisa Kleinman and Hannah Montana.
Neither of those Twitter things are accurate. It's Lisa Klein Woman and Miley Cyrus.
Okay. You're the boss. You're the tech guy.
So where are you now? Driving?
I'm parked outside of I'm parked outside of AJ's parents' vacation home.
Oh, cool.
I'm ready to go in.
Is it all of Bueno that's going to be there, your band?
I think just one or two of the guys from Bueno can make it.
When does the album drop, by the way?
Coming out soon on August 19th. It'll be released. I'm really excited about it. The AV Club picked it up, which is cool.
The what?
Big deal. The Onion AV Club?
The Onion AV. I thought you said the D&D Club, which is the
No.
Dungeons and Dragons Club.
That's on Sundays.
Did the Pen 15 Club pick it up?
Yeah. Big time. They picked it up, and they put it down.
And what does that stand for again?
The Pennsylvania 15 Music Review Club.
Music Review Club?
Yeah.
That's what CLB stands for? I thought it was Cool Lavish Designs Boy.
Oh, I thought you meant something else.
MRC? Wait, so the album's going to come out by the time that this drops, this podcast, it might be ready. So why don't you promote it right now?
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's called Illuminate Your Room. It's by my band Bueno. And we're going to be going on tour. Keep an eye out for tour dates because we're in September 22nd through October 8th. And we might be in your town. Come say hi.
That's great. Definitely check out Bueno. And my band, Less Vinyl, who does the opening to the What Say You podcast, which you could find on Bandcamp and iTunes, Spotify, Tidal. No, maybe not Tidal. But you could find it on all those things, is coming out with a new record. It's really good. I mean, it's not going to be out until like September or so, or maybe even later, maybe like September or October, which is a bummer because I think it's a real summery sounding record, but who cares? People find music at different times. So,
yeah.
I hope
you want to take the summer with you. It's like an Indian summer.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually American Indian summer. You have to say the whole thing now. You can't say that anymore.
That's a good point.
You don't say Native American either.
You don't, huh? They want Indian?
They want American. No, we want American Indian. I think that's what it is again.
All right, cool. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I respect, and if someone wants to be called a certain thing, I'm going to give it to them. I'm not going to fight him on it. I think that's crazy.
We did enough fighting.
That's right.
And we won.
Yeah. Well, Joe, this has been so fun. I'm going to go. I have to start my day. I have to do something today.
Yeah, I got to go too.
But this has been so good. So nice talking to you. Say hello to the band and to everyone, and tell AJ I said happy bachelor party. Get naked. I hope to see some. If I'm not going to be there to document it, but I want you to get naked today.
I'll let you know. And can you just do me a favor? I just have a question for Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just ask her who is that chick, Rockin' Clip?
Sure. And
Let me know what she does.
And did you do that thing for Josh?
Yeah, I already set it up top. Great question, Josh.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Okay. So, that's it.
That's it. That's all she wrote.
All right. Bye, buddy.
Bye.
So I just hung up on Joe. And now it's my podcast. It's my podcast by myself. So, let's see. Casey, what do you want to talk about? God, I can't do this. Bye, everyone.
I heard that Rome wasn't built in a day. Then how come everyone is rushing to get ahead? And if I seem to be reserved, that's just my way. Your questions seem like you're interrogating me. Yeah, I try, then again I don't try. I get an F for effort, I get a D next time. Okay. Here we go. I heard the lemon metaphor 4 million times, and I don't stand for lemonade, don't ask me why. And would a beverage stand be a job that be desired? And where would I get the wood, and should I try? Should I try? Then again I don't try. I get an F for effort, I get a 65. Yeah, I try, yeah, then again I don't try. I get an F for effort, I might as well just The currency don't grow like leaves on trees. Then how come my money comes and goes so seasonally? And I wish farmers planted plants instead of thieves. My friend pays a ton of green for greener groceries. Yeah, she tries, then again she don't try. She gets an F for effort, she'll plant a tree next time. Yeah, she tries, then again I don't try. I get an F for effort, I get a D next time. Yeah, I try, then again I don't try. I get an F for effort, I get a 65. Yeah, I try, then again I don't try. I get an F for effort, I might as well just die.
Next message.
Hi, Cassie. Listen now, Pia. Please call me what you say, no have hit.
End of message.